Hey there, welcome to day 17 of our Get Up and Go challenge. Today we're going to explore the O in our SOAP framework with respect to our physical well-being, our physical health. Remember, there's 7 areas and aspects of our life: physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, financial, relationships, and contribution. We've talked about financial through the SOAP framework. Now we're going through the SOAP framework talking about our physical well-being. Now, I have a little bit of a confession to make. I just lost my post-it notes. Oh, there they are. You get to see the top of my head. I did the homework about our story yesterday, right? And I said, okay, what's my current story? What do I want my story to be? And I woke up this morning and I said, no. What I really, really want my story to be is I want my story to be I am in the same physical shape I was in 2011. Why 2011? In 2010, I had a sudden cardiac arrest and left the planet for a while. Was in a coma, got frozen, and all these things that they do, which is miraculous nowadays. And that is why I'm here speaking to you today. But in 2011, after that event, I knew I had to make massive changes in my lifestyle, right? In my physical well-being, especially because I had, had that death thing going on. And I knew that what I'd been doing up to that point wasn't serving me very well. So I had to re-examine and look at all areas and aspects of my physical well-being. I had to actually start exercising. Exercise since college had become, a 4-letter word to me. Work was my favorite 4-letter word, and that's all I did. But in my work, I didn't get the physical exercise. I got a lot of movement, but not the physical exercise that I needed. I wasn't eating right. I wasn't sleeping. I wasn't taking care of myself. I was doing as many things wrong physically as I possibly could, thinking I was doing the right thing, of course. We always do the best we can with what we've got at the time. We think we're doing the right thing. We think we're behaving in our own best interests, but long term, not so much. So I realized I wanted, and then so after that event, I spent literally months, 6 months in cardiac rehab. I wasn't able to drive or anything, which was a precursor to my nowadays, but I spent a lot of time taking care of myself. I made sure I exercised every day. I went to cardiac rehab. I ate right. I kept track of everything I ate. I drank tons of water because I never drank water before. It was always like diet pop. And I I did a lot of mental mindset work, right? Beliefs and mental things and that. And over the last 10 years, because we're almost to 2021, I realized that some of those habits have slipped or changed or morphed, especially during COVID-19. So yesterday I'm thinking, oh, I just want to have energy to get through the holidays. I want to just fit into my Miss Me jeans. I'm like, no, yeah, I want those things, but what do I really, really want? What I really, really want is to be in the health and the energy and the situation I was in 2011. And 2011, I had eye surgery after my heart surgery and some other things. But for the most part, 2011 physically was a really good year for me. I actually did I did a couple things in 2011, but one of the things I did was I was with a fitness group, and they do a body analysis and things, and I was 50, and they said, well, you are in the shape of a 27-year-old. So I felt pretty good about that. Now I'm 60, so I'm not expecting to be, that in that good a shape, but I would like to be in that good a shape again, because I felt really good and healthy and energized back then. And I really, if I'm really being honest, that's what I want to be like again. I want to get back to that level of energy and vitality. I want to be like my mom. My mom's 84, and she looks like she's younger than me. It's ridiculous. So I want to get back to being more like that. So that's the story, right? So today, the O in SOAP is all about our options, right? O in SOAP stands for options. Well, what are our options? Our tool today is a question. It's a pretty simple question, but it's very powerful. The thing about questions is they are so powerful, and we so often forget to ask ourselves them. But if we just asked ourselves these questions, the light bulbs go off and we get so much more out of it. Now, being a 3M child of a lifelong 3M employee, and actually working at 3M and dropping them again at 3M myself during my summers between college, I too am a lover of Post-its. So our tool today is to ask the question, what else is possible? What are the possibilities? And we brainstormed the first time through the SOAP framework, and brainstorming is always one of my favorite go-to tools, but there's a lot of different ways to brainstorm. One of my favorite ways to do that is to ask myself a question about the problem or the situation I'm facing, or the story, to get from where I am now to where I want to be with that story, and then use Post-it notes to write down a bunch of different possibilities. So I would just use Post-it notes, and as I'm going about my day, so that I don't have to say, oh, I don't have time to do this, or make other excuses, I can just jot down ideas on the Post-it notes. And then at the end of the day, I can look at all the Post-it notes. I can go through them, and I can do today's action item, which is just to share 3 things. So today, come up with at least 10, no less than 10 things that you could possibly do. What else is possible? Now remember, I just said could. Doesn't mean you're going to do them. Doesn't mean you should do them. Doesn't mean any other evaluating them in any way, shape, or form. Just things that you could possibly do. So, for example, physically, what are some things I could possibly do? I could join a health club. Well, if they were open, and actually they are open in my state, and they're opening up in our neighboring state, but only at 20% capacity and only a maximum, there's all kinds of guidelines around it due to COVID. So I could join a health club. And see here, I'm already starting to evaluate it. It just happens automatically. Could join a health club. I could hire a nutritionist. I could hire a chef. I could take a course on nutrition for people over 60. So I just start brainstorming a list. Brainstorming again, there it is. I just start coming up with ideas to answer the question, well, what else is possible? How can I possibly get from where I am now to where I really want to be? Now, since I've been there, I can go back in my mind and I can think about, okay, well, what did I do differently back then that I am not doing now? And I can analyze that gap and the changes in my behavior. And I can say, okay, well, I did this every day and I know that worked for me. So maybe that's something I need to think about or start doing again. And we'll do that tomorrow in the A. When we get ready to take some action, we will evaluate all of the possibilities and alternatives, but come up with at least 10, share 3. I highly recommend Post-it notes, writing things down. It's really easy to say, oh, I'm just going to think of the 10 things in my head. And then guess what? By the time you go to share your 3, the 10 will have left your mind because you'll have been so busy doing other things throughout your day, and you'll forget all about them. That's why I'm such an advocate of writing things down and journaling. Thus, my book, already set up for my 10 things. What else is possible? 10 possible options that you could do. Remember, we're not necessarily going to do them because sometimes the crazy ideas are the ones that lead to the absolute best idea for us right now. Share 3 of those as the action item. Any questions? Hit me up, and I'll see you tomorrow as we get ready to take action on some of these possible things we could do. Have a great day.